I feel bad already for some people out there, some hunters, because they're watching these mature bucks during the summertime, and like we talked about with other videos, they're probably not going to be there during the fall. And there's some really good reasons for that. And people say, you know, we hunt the same bucks year round. We watch them all summer long. Those are the same bucks around here in the fall. And there are extreme cases for that. There's exceptions to every rule. And you have to look at the needs of bucks and why they go from habitat to habitat. The bottom line is you need to get rid of your summer bucks. And it doesn't mean all of them. It just means you need to watch that percentage that are on your land right now versus how many you have in the fall, because you see a direct relationship. The more bucks you have during the summer right now, the fewer you're going to have during the fall to hunt. There's a balancing point. We're going to talk about that. But first off, why? Number one, bucks require thick fall cover. What do I mean by that? High stem count cover. That's briars, weeds, grasses, shrubs, hardwood regeneration. They want thick cover. That not only provides them cover when all the rest of the cover in the neighborhood is falling down or being intruded on by hunters, but it gives them browse. It gives them that really important fall, winter browse that they don't have anywhere else. You know, a lot of times, even controlled burns in some areas, unless you're not getting a lot of frosts and freezes through December and January in your area, which is a small percentage of the whitetail habitat and where whitetails hang around in the entire country, then at some point, that green herbaceous growth, let's say you're doing controlled burns in your woods, is gone during the hunting season, let alone the north half of the country. It's gone sometimes before you even get into the rut, and deer don't have anything else to eat. So it's all about what type of cover, thick cover they have, and that food within the cover going into the fall. So look at it during the summertime, bucks need something completely different. For one, they're not moving around much. They're feeding high in the hog all night long. They're hitting really solid green herbaceous growth, whether it's open hardwoods and public land or ag fields and ag country. But they're getting out into those areas where they can stuff their faces at night in the cool of the day. And then during the day, they're just being lazy. And they're sitting back in high overstory and shaded areas that quickly become infringed upon by hunters. Cover is diminished throughout the early parts of the hunting season, and they just completely leave. They can't stay there. They can't crash their velvet through high stem count cover. And it's very important to understand that. Not to mention their cover needs areas that they can explode through, walk through, run through, escape through during the fall. They can't crush their velvet into during the summertime. So completely different types of cover. They just want to be cool, have shaded airflow during the summer months. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't go away. We have a really exciting announcement. I'm finally able to bring to you WHS Wildlife Blends. It's been in the works for a while, but we're offering a couple of blends right off the bat, just my favorite private blends in a brassica blend, Big Blue brassica, and a fall green blend. Both have the ability to build your soil, at the same time help you with weeds, and they're highly attractive. They're what I personally use. So after designing food plot programs for over 1,200 clients in the country, after writing about food plots, speaking about food plots, and of course, hundreds of videos on how to create food plots that best fit your needs, we're finally able to bring this to you. There are no coatings in these seed mixes, no sugar beets or other types of seed varieties that really don't mix, that have different maturity dates. These are made to actually be planted together. No ryegrass, we don't add any of that garbage to the mix. And then also no dwarf Essex rape. That's a smaller rape variety that's really cheap. We don't add that to the mix either, just to cheapen down the mix for us. And then finally, no bad mixes of cereal grain and brassica. So we're really excited about this. Again, these are my own personal mixes. I can't wait for you to try them out. It's a limited run this year. Shipping will be towards the end of July. Look forward to it on our website. The link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Now back to the video. It's really hard on most whitetail properties to have a combination of both fall cover and summer cover. Now sometimes we use a lot of summer cover or open hardwood cover as downwind approaches to tree stands, areas from your tree stands to blow your scent into, areas to walk through where you have lower likely chance of spooking deer. The entire reason we do that or design properties that way is because we need areas of diversity on the property. We can't just have a monoculture MFL, like a managed forest law they have in Wisconsin, or other forestry practices they have at the state level in most states, where we're just taking an even age approach to this 80-acre parcel. We're completing a select cut around the entire area, maybe some pockets here and there of clear cut, and calling it a day. We need to have open overstory mature hardwoods if possible, or non-deer cover if possible on the outside of the land for your approach, or on the inside if you approach from the inside through a cabin or something like that. Areas to blow your scent into that are non-deer. And a lot of times that boils down to cover that are open hardwoods where deer enjoy during the summertime. So we're specifically creating cover or allowing cover to exist on properties during the fall because we can count on bucks and does not being there when we actually go out and hunt. Does, on the other hand, need the same thick stem count cover all year long. That's why does that are here today are here to stay. They don't leave their home bodies. They have just a fraction of the home range of a mature buck. Very small home range. So they want that thick cover and they want summer food. Then they want fall food. They're okay with taking a lower quality fall food than bucks. Bucks, on the other hand, find the best number 2 fall food that's the safest. That's always the lowest hole in the bucket. The food has to be safe, meaning low hunting pressure or no hunting pressure, and they're willing to put up with lower quality food if they can find safe food. Always remember that, because you might have neighbors, and a lot of people it could seem oppressive because and intimidating. Your neighbors have all this great food. They can afford to spend a lot of dollars on high quality food plots, but most people hunt their food plots poorly. That's not a slam on hunters. That's just the facts. 95% at least of all hunters overhunt their food plots. So you can just about always count on your neighbors spooking out their food plots and spooking deer off their land because of those food plots. So don't let the highest quality food get you down that your neighbors have and you can't afford, or don't have the time to put in, or even the open land to put in. You have to have adequate food sources. But what I find is those food sources especially, bucks will travel to find that highest quality food source, but again, the lowest hole in the buckle, it has to have hunting pressure. So a lot of times they can't find that. That's so they don't get that age. But you'll find as a buck ages through 4 or 5 years old, 3 years old more than 2, 2 years old more than a yearling, but the older they age, they require a higher level of reclusiveness and a lack of hunting pressure on those food plots. So think about it, as a buck ages, that's why sometimes you can attract a 5 or 6 year old buck over to your land, because simply he understands that you have decent food at least, but it's unpressured next to good fall cover that has browse. You put those two together, put those 3 together, quality fall food, which cannot take the place with just managed forest and timber stand improvement. That's not, I repeat, that is not quality food. Food plots on private land are quality food. That's it. No mass crop, apples. Those are a complement. Hard mass, a complement to daytime cover and bedding cover and browse. Soft mass as a complement to your afternoon food plots. But don't be mistaken that either one of those can build a herd for you or a hunt. Anyone down the street who puts a good quality food plot program will take deer away from your high quality cover if you don't have that food source to complement that cover. So when it gets into the fall, bucks move. Again, think about it. They have a home range 5, 6 times larger than doe family groups. So because of that home range difference, they're willing to not only move and travel a lot further at night, but they open themselves up to finding better food somewhere where those does are homebodies. Again, the doe is staying the same type of cover all year long. Fawning cover, they need high stem count cover, grasses, briars, weeds, hardwood regeneration where they can hide fawns. That keeps fawns alive. Does are pretty cool. Even looking at fawns, they hide those fawns further apart the older they get. It's a pretty cool study, and that helps fawn survivability. Fawn mortality is lowered the further they're put apart and the older a doe becomes. She places those fawns, if she has twins, further apart. It's pretty cool. The bottom line is they're in that same cover all year long. So as long as they have adequate food going to the fall, they stay. Again, they're home bodies. Bucks go find that food. You need to be very aware of that. That's why, number 3, years ago, I started using coining the phrase, the annual whitetail shift, especially as it relates to bucks, because again, does don't move that much. So sometime mid-September to mid-October, those bucks are moving to their fall range, which we find on average is about 1.5 miles apart. Mile apart, 2 miles apart. Which is really cool about that is if you live in ag land, for example, you can drive around that ag land. Any buck you see within 1 mile of your property borders, you can expect them to be on your property if you have the best reclusive cover and food in the area. Fall food, winter food, not summer food. Number 4, the higher percentage of local bucks that you have on your land during the summer. So let's say in your area, you have 10 older bucks. Older is relative. Maybe in your area, an older buck is a 2-year-old. Maybe it's a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever it is. But you have that combination of older bucks, those top 10 bucks in your area. When you see a high percentage of those bucks on your land during the summertime, it tells you have too much summer food, not enough fall cover. Your summer food is probably taking the place of good fall cover that you could have. Your resources are being stretched too thin, and you're not going to have a good hunt or herd. It's almost impossible when you have an overwhelming number of older bucks on your land during the summer. There's exceptions, like I said, people in low cover regions, areas where there's huge ag and there's not a lot of cover. Bucks don't have a choice. For example, they don't like to stay in switchgrass, conifers, when there's no food source during the entire day. Again, they feed 5 times in a 24-hour period. If their only choice is to bed in switchgrass, because that's all the cover they have, or conifer, or open hardwoods, they have to do so. So there's properties, even 40 acres, surrounded by ag for a mile in every direction, that'll hold every deer in the neighborhood with a little bit of good food on the side, just simply because the deer don't have a choice. And that's where they'll be. And if they did have a choice here and there in little pockets that are exposed to hunters, they die at a young age. So in cases like that, you could see the same deer throughout the entire summer. Now, it's not to say you don't see a percentage of those deer during the summer that are there going to be during the fall. We look at, let's say, 13, 14 bucks in that 4-year-old age class or older in this area. We expect 2 or 3 of them to show their face here and there during the summertime. But we expect a large percentage of our bucks to not even show their face till mid-September to mid-October when they move in for the fall. I could really care less where they're at during the summertime. We figure out that they made it. We find their sheds. Most of the time we see pictures. We know they made it through the year. We know they're alive. They're going to be here during the fall at a rate of, they're probably not going to die. They probably have a 3 to 5% chance of dying during the summertime at the worst. They really don't die very often. When you see them in January, February, and you get them past the season, they're going to be on your land during the fall, and it's something you don't even need to really worry about. Number 5, it's time to stop wasting your resources just to see some summer bucks. Pretty cool to see summer bucks. We like around here, we get a pop, get on the road, drive around, look for those bucks, take pictures of them. Dylan's going to be here for 3 days, the end of June. We're going to definitely go for some drives and look for some mature bucks out in the fields around here. Dylan has a long telephoto lens, get the binos. We're going to have a really good time. And I can't wait to go do that. That's something we enjoy doing. But we're not spending the majority of our time on our land here looking for them or setting up behind a patch of corn, because we wouldn't see a lot of the older bucks or on surrounding neighbor properties, on big bean fields or food plots specifically planted for the summertime. And then we get those bucks during the fall, because we're building our herd for fall bucks, not summer bucks. The more you can reduce the summer bucks on your land, the number you see in and around your land, the better chance you have of having a fall hunt. There are exceptions, of course, but if you're not gearing your land towards the fall, you're never going to be a herd influencer. You're never going to reach your potential. Even those areas where you see the same bucks, you can always do better if you're specifically targeting a fall habitat. Even thicker habitat will hold more deer. They're more compartmentalized. There's always advantages to working on your land, creating good fall and winter cover, and really ignoring that summer food and summer cover like we do. And that's why we find such a high level of success anywhere we hunt, because we're ignoring and getting rid of those summer bucks on our land, because really all that matters is what we have during the fall and winter months, and that's all that matters to you, or should matter, going into this hunting season. Folks, I want to make sure you check out my web class video series, whether it's how to design your food plot program or how to design your property in general. And we have a new one coming out that'll be how to hunt the rut. But these bucks back here are a testament. Some of these bucks go back to 93. They're even in different states. I urge you to check out those web classes so that you can help yourself, help your land, help your hunt. The link is in the description. And also for those that have tried them out, I encourage you to offer some feedback in the comments below. Thank you.